I'm here at the second annual Global Conference for Media Freedom. Well, sort of. The conference, co-hosted by Canada, has been moved online this year, with all of the festivities taking place in front of a computer screen. But nevertheless, I'm tuned in. And just like last year when I covered the first Global Conference for Media Freedom in London, it already looks like much of the theme will be about window dressing. Take a look at the very first session on the agenda, a ministerial meeting of the Media Freedom Coalition. People will be meeting from the governments of Canada, the United Kingdom, and the heads of delegations from other Media Freedom Coalition countries, but it is a closed session. So when all of these delegation leaders from different countries around the world gather together to talk about, quote, key concerns regarding media freedom and identify priorities for the coming year, unquote, a meeting chaired by Canada's Foreign Minister, François-Philippe Champagne, it will be in a closed-door session. In other words, the very first session for the Media Freedom Conference is closed to the media. Now, I understand the reason for in-camera meetings. I understand why on key issues like perhaps national security or other sensitive matters, you might need to have a meeting that goes behind closed doors. But right now, countries are going to be talking about the issues in their countries and around the world for media freedom, and the media doesn't even get to know what those priorities are going to be. Now, this is very similar to something that happened last year when I was actually kicked out of a session that was, again, a closed session, as countries were going to be talking about what really was the most substantive part of the whole conference. Now, there are going to be other events later on that I'll be able to tune into about democracy and free speech and press freedom, and I'll certainly have a report about those as the day goes on. In fact, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is speaking. But it certainly sends a unique message when the Media Freedom Conference's first agenda item is not actually open to the media. And it makes me wonder whether this is going to be very similar to what happened last year, where a lot of the countries like to talk the big talk, but aren't actually prepared to walk the big walk. Here are the things that I'm interested in learning about. Why is Botswana one of the countries co-hosting this year's conference when it actually, in the past year in particular, has been using the heavy hand of the state to prosecute journalists for daring to report on the government or even perhaps offering an alternative perspective to the government narrative on COVID-19? Will the Canadian government be committing to press freedom after Justin Trudeau's hand-picked debates commissioner blocked True North and Rebel News, including myself, from covering the official government-sanctioned leaders' debates in last year's election? Now, again, Canada is not perfect when it comes to media freedom, yet Canada is one of the co-hosts of this conference. Will there be any introspection, or will it simply be an opportunity for Canada to tell the world why everyone else has to do better? Reporting from the 2020 Global Conference for Media Freedom, I'm Andrew Lawton. Now, I know I didn't need to fly anywhere to cover this conference, but still, True North is standing up for media freedom and covering these issues, covering the free speech battles in a way the mainstream media is not. If you can chip in a few dollars to support our efforts, it would be very much appreciated. Head on over to tnc.news/donate.